How regularly do you sit back and think about how your business is doing? How it's performing in the different areas of business? How's marketing going? How's sales? How's the service and the product and the delivery? How are my finances or the people, the employees, the team, the customers? How's the website doing? How often do you review and reflect on your business, where you're going, and if you're happy with the destination? The extraordinary belongs to those that create it. Rebelling against business plans and debt, rebelling against what society expects of us to build cool businesses, make money, have fun, and do good. Let's create something extraordinary together. Welcome to The Rebel Entrepreneur. Welcome to a very special episode of the Rebel Entrepreneur podcast, which is all about how to review your business. And this is one of the practices that has completely changed my life. And over the last probably 8 years since I've learned how to do this, and I'm not even sure where the idea came from, but I had this idea to do a monthly review or a monthly reflection on what's going on in my life. And I would open up a OneNote, like a notebook, and OneNote's my favorite tool. But I'd open up this notebook and I'd ask myself a series of questions. How is it going in these different areas of life? How do I feel life is? How do I feel it's going? What's happening in my life? And then I'd write a bunch of comments and thoughts that would come into my head about each area of life. And I'd get so into it. I'd put my headphones on, I'd have music playing, and I'd really get into thinking about what's happening in my life. And am I happy? And taking that time to think about those different areas of life and what I'm wanting to do really helped me to consider properly what's going on and where I want to go next. And one of the most important things that comes after reflecting on your life is, if you're not happy, what are you going to do about it? So I would look at this thing and I go, okay, health. How am I doing in health? I'm not going to the gym. I'm becoming inflexible from sitting around doing too many podcasts, and I'm getting fat from eating too many breakfasts. This is not good. And if I'm not happy with my health, what am I going to do about it? Because there's this incredible question that Katie and I ask, which is, if things continue like this, are you happy with the direction you're going? So let's all consider right now together your health. So take a moment to think about your health. Are you happy with your weight? Are you happy with your size? Are you happy with your energy? Are you happy with the amount of sleep you're getting? Is your health getting better or is your health getting worse? And if it continues like this over the years, are you happy with the destination? Because that's the real question. Because the way things were going with my health at the time, they were getting worse and worse and worse. And I was not happy. And actually, I projected forwards and I could imagine myself at 60, 65, being heavily overweight, inflexible, not moving, zero energy, tired, grumpy. Like, this is not where I want to be in my life. And I needed to change things. And it was that question that was the inspiration that led to changing things. So the act of reviewing the different areas of your life, thinking them through, asking questions, and then deciding if you're happy with the direction really starts to get you to think about where you're going. And you can do this with any area of life. We would ask the question about finances. Okay, so we've done all this work this month. How do we feel about it? How's the finances going? Have we spent more than we wanted? Have we spent less? Am I happy with the direction my finances are going? And this is a really easy one to chart out, because at the end of the month, every month, Katie and I do a monthly finance meeting where we work out our net worth. And the question is, are we wealthier now than we were at the beginning of the month, or are we worth less? Like, which way is our net worth trending? Is it trending up or is it trending down? Then you can chart that out over the months to see if you're happy with the direction. Are you going deeper into debt every month, or are you building up assets every month? And if this continues, are you happy? And if you're not happy, let's do something to change it. 3 thoughts for you about questions. The first is the quality of the question you ask yourself will determine the quality of the answer. So if you ask a bad question, you'll get a bad answer. If you ask a thought-provoking question, you'll get a thought-provoking answer. And if you want a better answer, ask a better question. And this has actually led me to become a collector of questions. So I have a document in OneNote, obviously, but you can write this wherever you want, of all of these questions that get me to think, get other people to think. It helps me to be a better coach. It helps me to coach myself better. So the questions you ask will help you to get better answers. So become a collector of quality questions. And one of the best I've come across is, if you continue like this, are you happy with the direction you're going? It's a fascinating question. So what I want to suggest that you do is, for your business, go through the different areas of your business, write out some notes about the current state of affairs of your business, and then ask yourself the question, if things continue like this, am I happy with the direction? So I've got some areas of business that I think it would be useful for you to think through. So here are the 7 major areas of your business for you to think through. So number 1 is marketing. So just write down marketing in your notebook or wherever, and then start to ask yourself a series of questions. How is my marketing performing? Am I doing any marketing each month? What am I producing to put out into the marketplace? Is it working and getting responses from customers and generating leads? So there's marketing, number 1. Number 2, sales. How are my sales going? Am I selling easily? Am I enjoying sales? Am I learning about sales? Am I growing as a salesperson? So reflect on the sales within your business, because sales is the lifeblood of your business. So that's number 2. Number 3 is your operations, your service or your product. And ask yourself a series of questions. How is my product performing? Are the customers happy? Does it work easily? Do I deliver it easy? How is the experience from end to end, from once it's been sold to the aftermarket follow-up once you've sold it? How are the operations and the service and the product? So that's number 3. Number 4 is finance. How's the money going? How are sales coming in each month? What money are you bringing in? What are your expenses like? Are they trending up? Are they trending down? What's the profitability like? What's the gap between expenses and income or sales? How are my finances going? How quickly am I collecting the money from the customers? How long do I have to wait for it to come in? Ask yourself a series of questions to understand how finance is going within your business. Number 5 is the people. Do you work with contractors? Do you have employees? Do you have team members? Who are around you? Who are your suppliers? Do you work closely with them? Do you have a good relationship? Do you feel like they would help you in an emergency? How are you connected with them? Are you helping them? Do you add value to their lives? So considering the people around you, that's number 5. Number 6 is customers. And I know they're people, but this is like a whole separate section. Who is buying your product? Are they happy with your product or service? Are they giving reviews? Do you contact them afterwards? Are they repurchasing? Like, do they buy one and then do they come back and become lifelong customers? How long have they been your customers? Who are your best customers? Who are your worst customers? Who hates your service and product? And what can we do to connect with them? But let's think through the customers, because the aim of a business is to create happy customers. And if you create happy customers and you're charging properly, the byproduct is a profitable business. So that's number 6. And then number 7 is your online digital world. How's your website performing? What's the conversion rate like? What's the traffic like coming to your website? Where is the traffic coming from? How's your listing on Google? Are social media channels performing for you? How is your business operating in this online world? So those are the 7 areas I would love you to reflect on for your business. Marketing, sales, operations, so your service or your product, finance, people, customers, and then your online business, your website, your social media. So sit down, get out a piece of paper, go through those areas of your business and write notes about every single one. Where you can find it, add numbers. So for the finance, that's really easy. What's the finance doing? What's profitability? What's my turnover? Is it going in the right direction? Sales is easy to have numbers. Marketing, you can find some numbers around the reach of your posts, what you're doing each day, how many phone calls you're making. Online business, you can do website traffic. But numbers help us to quantify what's going on and actually help us to ask the next question. So based on that review, if you continue like this, are you happy with the direction you're going? So look down the list, like the customers are happy, the people's happy, finance, I'm not generating much profit and actually it's getting worse. I keep giving them too much away or I'm not charging enough. Like if I keep going like this, I'm never going to make any money and like I'm never going to be able to build the life I want to do. That's what I need to change. And it's really interesting going down that list. Are you happy with the direction? And if not, change it quick. Like, what are we going to do about it? And actually, that's the next question that comes from this. Like, if you're not happy with an area of your business, what are you going to do to change it? How are you going to change the direction of your business? How are you going to move where you're going? What could you do today to change the trajectory, to change the destiny of your business? Because it is amazing. The small changes that you make today and then tomorrow and the day after will compound over time to change the direction of your business. And this is critical for you to think through what you're doing. And actually, I would recommend doing this every single month, taking the time to sit down for an hour, maybe 90 minutes, get yourself a nice coffee and think through every area of your business. And if you're happy with the direction you're going, and that will create a bunch of thoughts, ideas, and actions that you can put into place to move things in the direction you actually want it to go. Whew. What an episode. It's such a critical tool. I really wanted to give it to you in this special episode for you to start thinking about it. And actually, Patrick, the podcast manager, and I have been thinking about it as well, because we are starting to come up to the end of season 2 of the podcast, which I cannot believe. Like, we are 38 episodes in. Season 2 will end at the end of 2021. And we're starting to think, what's worked well? What hasn't worked well? Where are we going with the podcast? What are we doing? We're planning season 3. We're really working on these different bits. And it's very exciting for us. We're looking forward to it. And actually, we're going to send out a survey to everyone who listens to the podcast. So keep your ears open. I'll tell you about it in the podcast. And if you're signed up to the mailing list, then you will get a notification about it as well. And I'd love to know what you thought of season 2 and the podcast and what we can do to make it more valuable to you. Like, which episodes really hit you? What's the most value you got? Did we inspire you? How's it working? I really, really want to know. And actually, I also want to know if it didn't work, because that's part of it. Like, we suggested different things as we go along. Like, we had the sales episode with Patrick Venn where we talked about reaching out and selling. We had Eric who was talking about sending cold emails. We had all these different episodes. Did you try it? Did it work? And on that note, we are planning a special last episode of the year for season 2, which will star you. So you might have noticed that the cover art for this episode is a QR code. If you scan that, it will open up a WhatsApp link to us. And we've set up a WhatsApp business account so that we can get your messages. And what we would love you to do is leave a short audio for us about what worked, what didn't, what happened, what you're celebrating, what you loved about the podcast, what you hated about the podcast. And I really want to know these things. Now, please only leave us audio, because we're actually planning on creating an episode whereby we play your audio live on air. I will have a chance to comment, and it'll be sort of this episode about what you've been doing, some comments and thoughts from me. And I really think we can create an awesome episode. So please only leave us audio. The disclaimer is, if you leave a message, it might be published. So if you leave us a message on this WhatsApp, we might well publish it. So please be aware, you might end up on the show if you do this. So scan that or visit alandonegan.com/podcast and you'll find the link to the WhatsApp as well. And leave us an audio message. Which episode hit you the most? What worked? What did you try that didn't work? What was your most spectacular fail? What went wrong? We should celebrate those. And what went right? I really want to know. So please, over the next week, find 90 minutes to sit down, review your business in the 7 areas: marketing, sales, operations, finance, people, customers, and website. Think through where you're going and what you're doing next. That will be an incredibly valuable exercise for you. So get out some paper, set aside the time, make some coffee, and do it. Then, if you are moved, please send us a message, because I would genuinely love to know how it's going. Thank you for listening to The Rebel Entrepreneur. Thank you for being part of the gang. Thank you for taking action, working on your lives, and making it happen. You can have any life you want to. Choose to build something cool. Choose to take action. Choose to work to make your dreams become reality. Stand out. Be different. Be yourself. Be a rebel entrepreneur.